My name is Bernardo Solano. I am the director of this production of Mr. Burns, and I've been directing university productions for the last 20 years.
My name is Chelsea Sykes. I played Mr. Burns in Mr. Burns. And my background in theater, I was in a couple productions in junior high and high school, took drama classes, and I didn't do anything after that up until spring of 2020 when I changed majors and I transferred into this department. And now I've been in 4 productions here at Cal Poly.
My name is Miles Cox. My theater emphasis is education and community engagement, and I am currently a 4th year going on to my 5th year next semester.
Background in
theater or whatever in this realm.
Okay. I started doing theater in middle school. 2 English teachers decided that they wanted to make a drama club, so I auditioned for the show, and that's kind of really when it started, and I did it all throughout high school. And then senior year of high school I did management for Oklahoma, the musical, and I really loved it. And then I went to college and I knew I wanted to do theater some more and stage management. And then I got my associate's degree in theater, and then I took a year off and moved to San Diego to study film and TV. I did that for a while. I took some film classes and made a couple short films. Like I've told Kevin before, I feel like the mediums are very similar. I feel like there's a lot of commonalities and a lot of things that you can carry over. My knowledge in theater helped me a lot with film and TV and the way that we put together a picture and a product and acting and working with actors and talent management, production management. And then even the film stuff that I learned helped me with theater. When theater moved to Zoom and stuff like that, they were talking about building shot lists, and I knew how to do that. So I feel like both of them are my 2 loves, and I'm really glad that I am knowledgeable in both of them. But then after I did film, I got accepted into Cal Poly and I'm doing theater stage management. Yeah.
What was your background in theater before this?
So my background in theater was, I've been majoring in theater. I didn't have theater in high school, so honestly, when I learned that Mr. Burns was a musical, I was honestly a bit scared because I've never done a musical in my life. I wasn't in choir, so I was like, oh, this is very kind of scary, but it was a challenge that I was willing to embrace because I thought, well, why not? And so I just found the show very interesting, and so it just seemed like a very interesting piece of art. And being that this was my first show with Cal Poly, I thought, well, this will be a fun challenge. So yeah.
What is something you enjoyed or are proud of on this production?
Oh man, what a loaded question. The thing I'm most proud of about myself is the fact that I did it. I would argue that Mr. Burns is the lead character of Act 3. Maybe not the whole show, but definitely Act 3. And that was a really big weight on me. And it was a very strange character because he's kind of evil but also dramatic and very showmanship, and he was a very intricate character to portray. And also it's kind of like meta theater. I was an actor playing an actor that's playing Mr. Burns. But it wasn't just Mr. Burns. It was a combination of Burns and Sideshow Bob mixed into one. So I had to pick and choose what to do and also fill in the blanks because I'm playing someone who has never watched The Simpsons before. So that was a lot.
What is something you enjoyed or are proud of you did on this production?
So I really enjoyed just honestly learning about music and all that, and doing the dancing and the singing and the choreography and all that. It was definitely challenging. I won't say it was all fun, pretty, and games. I'll be honest, there were moments where I cried, and mostly because I was just frustrated or really stressed out. But it wasn't a bad thing. It was just oh, it's a lot, but it was a challenge that I embraced, and honestly, it really paid off in the end because it challenged me as an actor and I got to explore, my voice in ways that I didn't think I could explore. And so it was just something that I enjoyed. It was a challenge that I enjoyed a lot. And just, I don't know, it was just super fun to be able to like sing these pop songs and dance and just do these fun things. Like, it didn't feel like, like, oh, it's just doing this for a show. Like, no, it was just really fun doing all of that. So yeah, I really, despite its challenges of like, I haven't never done a musical in my life, it was very fun and it was very rewarding to do so.
What was your role on Mr. Burns, and what did you like your role?
So my role was one of the leads in Act 1 and Act 2. Matt, that was my role. I really liked the character. I really liked the character because I saw a lot of myself in the character. As far as mannerisms go, maybe not personality, but as far as kind of a lot of mannerisms and how he talks and speaks. So I just injected a lot of myself into the character, and it worked out really, really well. I didn't have to think so hard about being another person. I just kind of was the character. That's what I liked about it.
Knowing that this was a musical, do you prefer musicals or straight just theater, drama plays, or comedies?
Honestly, after this, initially, it's funny because, initially before Burns, I was like, I'm just doing straight plays, no musicals, no nothing. Like, I don't even know if I can sing or whatnot. But after doing Mr. Burns, I would honestly be open to both. For musicals, it might depend on the musical and the role. Like, I can't do anything crazy like cabaret, but I would be more than willing to do another very interesting, I don't know, like, style of musical like Mr. Burns. So yeah, I would do a musical or a show. It just would really depend, but yeah.
Being that Mr. Burns was a musical, and in your past you've done non-musicals, do you prefer musicals or non-musicals?
I think I have different opinions about the musical versus non-musical. One of the things that I really appreciate about doing the musicals is the opportunity to work with a music director and a choreographer, and that has been really great. That's a great sort of professional experience in that it just gets better because there's more eyes on the production and on the rehearsals. So there are different perspectives that I wouldn't get necessarily to the same extent by just directing a show by myself. However, directing a show by yourself, if it's a play, a regular play, a non-musical, that's kind of fun because you get to make a lot of different decisions, and you're still working with everybody. You're still working with the actors. You're still working with the designers and various production folks. So it's a mixed bag. I love them both.
What are you most proud of working on this production?
Most proud of. Kind of what I said earlier, but that I'm proud that I seeked out a really hard show, and I knew it was going to be a challenge, and I'm proud that I did it. That I wanted to push myself, I wanted to be challenged, I wanted the hard project, and I did it. And I don't feel like a failure coming out of it. I feel like overall I feel proud of the work that I did. I feel like it was a good show. I liked the way I worked with others. I just feel proud of myself of getting through the production and wanting to be a part of it and getting to be a part of it. That's
Okay.
probably what I...
All right. What is your next step or phase in theater or acting for you?
Ooh, well, it's the end of spring semester right now, so I have one more semester, so I will graduate in December. And after that, I'm going out into the world. I'm auditioning. I'm going to go out for pilot season. I'm getting an agent. And I'm going to be successful because that's the only choice I have.
The upcoming year, you mentioned you're going to stage manage for an upcoming show. Do you have any insight or input or inspiration that will help you find a route or a notch in this upcoming role that will prepare you into your future?
Actually, kind of. Well, I guess I kind of have two sources of inspiration. I guess for stage managing. One was the stage manager for our high school production. I don't know how she did it, by herself pretty much, as a high schooler, in a cast of like 30 people. I don't know how she did it, but she did it, and it was crazy. So I seek to be able to do it like she did. And then also Lexi, who was a stage manager for Mr. Burns. I saw the way she interacted with us as the cast and was willing to listen to anything we had to say, good or negative, and was just always supportive of people's schedules and conflicts. But at the same time, she was also very, I don't say very strict, but she wasn't just letting shit go willy-nilly. She reminded you, like, hey, you got lines coming up. Hey, you guys need to be off book. You should be in costumes. Like, why aren't you in this? You're like, we told you already. Yada yada yada. Right? So she was both firm and flexible at the same time, and I hope to emulate that when I assistant stage manage.
What is your next step or phase in the theater department or in theater in general outside of the theater department?
My next step, well, I still have like about a year or so here left, so I'll continue doing shows. And, after this, what I do hope to do is, do theater and do voice acting. That's what that is like, long term of what I wish to do. But yeah, for the time being, I still have some time left here at Cal Poly, so we'll continue doing shows and, maybe do another wonky little musical. But yeah, just continuing to do this whole acting thing. It's challenging, but it's very rewarding.
I enjoyed the collaboration with various colleagues and students, obviously. That's the most fun, is coming up with creative solutions to challenges that come up in the script of a show, and this was a good example of coming up with ideas and seeking ideas and working with others, whether it be students or professional colleagues. So,
Were there any hardships or difficulties on this production that you faced that on your next show you now have information and influence to not repeat?
Mm-hmm. So there are definitely hardships. I know for me personally that, for me it's just, I guess being more on top of it when it comes to like, memorizing lines and music and whatnot. Like that would have definitely eased things a bit. And then I know for next shows that I need to be just a little more like, memorize your lines earlier. If I do another musical, memorize your music earlier and all that. And just honestly also working with like, peers. Like I know I would reach out to one of our fellow actors, Destiny Avina, who was Edna Krabappel. Like I reached out to her for music because I was having a challenge with that. But yeah, just I know for me personally, just being more like on top of it to like kind of ease the process of rehearsal. But yeah, that would pretty much have been the challenge of the music.
Are there any hardships on this production that you now have learned lessons from not to repeat on future projects?
Yeah, I think I could stand to be a little bit more organized in terms of rehearsal schedules. I made some tactical mistakes early on that I paid for the entire rehearsal process because I hadn't quite left enough time for certain things. So I had to be scrambling here and there to account for lost time. I won't do that again.
Oh yeah, I think the hardest thing about the show was my entrance. That was really hard because it's just me and it's my big reveal. Like, in Act 1 and Act 2, they're basically setting up Act 3 without the audience knowing that that's what they're doing, unless you know the show. So, they're talking about Mr. Burns, they're talking about Sideshow Bob, and then I finally come out, and that is so much pressure and so much attention. And I love attention, but like certain kinds. It was a lot because don't shake. What if they see it? Make sure you don't trip. Have your footing right. And it was also really, it was a very odd entrance. My note from Jeremy, who was a choreographer, his note was, all this madness and chaos and destruction that you cause, it turns you on. And I was like, that's weird, but okay. So I had to be creepy and sensual and diabolical and evil, like all at the same time. And also, but to have fun. That was our biggest note, have fun. So that's a lot to do within, what was that, a 2-minute sequence? Yeah.
Do you have any advice for incoming freshmen, say, coming to our theater department?
My advice is just honestly get to know people, get to talk to people, because essentially, these are people that you're going to be working with for the next couple of years. So open up to them, get to know them. Like I know I was once a shy person who kind of just, went to my theater classes and then left the theater building to go somewhere else. Like even just staying in the green room, like you can just do that and talk to people, like get to know these people, because you will, you'll create friendships, and with that you'll work with them, and it'll just. The thing about theater is, it's not like a solo thing. Like, it's a collaborative thing, and it's a good idea to establish a community with the people that you're going to be with for the next couple of years. So definitely, like, getting to know people, talking with them, like just going out to eat with them, like stuff like that. Just, making sure that you don't like kind of end up, on your own, because theater is a collaborative thing. And so I think, just making friends, like that's what I would honestly recommend, because even if you don't know something, there's a probability that maybe your friend knows something. And like, yeah, definitely like befriend us, like upperclassmen. We don't bite. You could come talk to us. And like if you're confused about something, then you can come talk to us, and we could probably help you out, or lead you to the right person who can help you out, like say Sarah or Bernardo. But yeah, just make friends like with everyone. It doesn't just have to be with like people within your grade. You can make friends with us, the upperclassmen. I would say that we're very opening and welcoming, and you can ask us about anything. And so yeah, just be open.
And then, what is your next step or phase in Cal Poly's theater program?
Ooh, my next step overall is, starting to work on my senior project, and also I'm going to be assistant stage managing next semester. So my goal is really just work on getting towards the end of, or the things I have to do towards the end of my degree, and also just kind of broadening my theatrical horizons.
Okay, so then my last question would be, what is your next step or phase in this theater or film realm?
My next step or phase? Well, I'm graduating, so the next step would to be go in the real world and get a job doing it, like actually doing it, which blows my mind. I was talking to my counselor about it, and I was like, I've been doing this for free for years. People get paid for this? Someone's gonna pay me to stage manage? But that's my passion. That's what I would be so happy doing, and that would be the next step, is trying to get a stage manager job at a theater company, whether that be commercial theater, regional theater, anything like that. That's the idea. That's, the hope. But for me specifically, I applied for a couple fellowships. So stage management specific fellowships, and we'll see where that takes me, and then grad school with a stage management emphasis. So, yeah.
Any advice to anyone looking to pick up theater as a hobby or joining our department, such as you?
Oh my gosh, yes. My advice is do it. If you have a passion for it or you're curious about it, do it. I used to be a science major. I was environmental biology, and I realized, but I really want to act. You know what? I'm gonna act. And I thought I was just gonna do theater as a minor. I was like, no, screw this. I live one life. I'm doing what I want. I'm switching. I 180'd it, and I switched to an acting emphasis, and I couldn't be happier. That was the best decision I've ever made. Definitely risky, best decision though. And my biggest advice is you have to do what makes you happy. Like I said, because you live one life. So just do it, like Nike, just do it. And also just have fun with it. Don't be so hard on yourself. And as an actor, like, haha, that's easier said than done. But man, you have to give yourself a lot of grace, because we are the most vulnerable people alive. We're the most vulnerable department, and we put a lot of ourselves into our work. And we all have like things that come out in our work, and it's really hard to show it. So you just do it, but also take care of yourself as you're doing it. Don't push yourself, don't feel pressured by anyone or anything. You just have to do you, because it's your path, and that's all you can do.
Any advice for upcoming theater students or theater enthusiasts in general?
Advice. Put yourself out there. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fall. You can get up. Somebody else will help you get up. If you have a misstep, but if you didn't take that chance, if you didn't try something, whether it be extreme or difficult or challenging or unusual, then you're sort of robbing yourself of the opportunity to come up with something really, really good. And you won't know unless you actually try.
Going into your last year here at Cal Poly, looking at your background here at Cal Poly as well, do you have anything you want to share for the future, as in the future of incoming Cal Poly students?
Something I want to say about Cal Poly, or something in regards to Cal Poly for future incoming students. That's a good one. This department overall is pretty fucking great, honestly. There's such a it's such a positive learning experience, and everyone kind of has your back in that regard. For the most part, faculty and students are not going to try to hinder your growth. They're going to support you. They're going to want to see you succeed, and they will fucking blow up when you do fucking succeed. It's pretty nice, actually. So yeah, you come to this department, you're coming to a really friendly and supportive environment. Also, teachers know a lot of connections. It's kind of crazy how many connections they have. So yeah, there's that.
Do you have anything you would like to say to the cast or crew, Mr. Burns?
I want to say thank you so much, honestly. This was my first live show, like, you know, back from Zoom, back from COVID play days. This was my first live show ever, and in my opinion, I had a big role in this show, so it was a lot. So I really want to say thank you to like Bernardo and Jeremy and Scott for like all their encouragement, but all the encouragement I received from like the rest of the cast and crew. Man, the night of opening, I was crying because I was like, I'm gonna fail, and people were like, what the heck? That is not an option for you, and they put that all into me, and there were definitely a lot of hiccups and a lot of hardships like behind the scenes, but I still wouldn't. If I had to do it all over again, I totally would, and I would do it the exact same way because I got through it, and it was through the help of everybody involved. And I miss being birds. I put on the hands once in a while for fun. I miss it. Obviously I'm so attached to this show. This was the most beautiful thing, honestly. I loved it. Everything was beautiful. So thank you to everybody.
Do you have any thoughts or feelings towards the cast and crew that you would like to share?
I honestly am really thankful to the cast and crew, and like, honestly, like, I feel like I'm the only, like, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I feel like I did so well and why I feel so proud of my work was because of them. Because, you know, once again, like I mentioned prior, like I would reach out to Destiny and work on music, and so, you know, she would help me with the music. And, you know, so my other castmates, when, you know, when we're doing Act 1 and Act 2, you know, we would go over lines, and I was very like thankful and like grateful to them. Like they made this process a little more easier because, you know, it is a collaborative thing. Like it's not just, oh, you go up there and do your thing. Like no, it's like it's an ensemble thing. So I'm very thankful and grateful to them, and I love them. I think they're amazing, and it was a real honor working with them. And you know, well, yeah, I'll be working with them again because I still have some time here at Cal Poly. But yeah, I'm just very thankful and grateful, and I think they're some wonderful people.
Any words to the cast or crew members about Mr. Burns' production that you want to say as you sign off?
I'm glad it's over, but I miss y'all a lot, and I wish we could have done more of it without it disrupting our school lives. I wish we did more, and I hope we get to do more, work on more production and more stuff together, because y'all are one of the best group of people I've worked with.
Any sign off or farewell to the cast or crew?
You all have been amazing. It's been a pleasure working with you and learning alongside with you how to put on a show like this. This was a very unique play with music that was, you know, a big challenge for all of us. and especially in this day and age in which we are doing it with the various ways it resonates with what our country and world is going through at this moment. So, you know, thank you for taking it on, and thank you for being brave. So yeah.